And we're back in the building, back with some more boxing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and all that good stuff. Now, guys, we're still dealing with fallout from the situation with Frank the Ghost Martin and Shakur Stevenson. There's been a lot of drama going on with that situation. If you didn't know, Frank the Ghost Martin was set to face Shakur Stevenson November the 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada on Top Rank. I think the fight was set to take place on a Thursday, but Frank Martin pulled out of the fight abruptly with no explanation, which, led a lot of people to speculate that he was ducking the smoke with Shakur Stevenson. Now, I was a little bit reluctant to say that in the beginning because I didn't know, I didn't hear anything from Frank Martin. We didn't hear anything from him in the beginning. I wanted to wait to see what the explanation was before I made an assessment on whether he was ducking or not, my opinion on that. And he came out and he said that he wasn't ducking-ish. Now, he didn't clarify any of that, clarify anything of why he pulled out at the time. So I made the decision to see it as a duck move coming from Frank Martin. So I did call him a duck. Now, some more information came out. I think it was the Spit Bucket podcast. They had some inside information, a source saying that, Frank was looking to leave Derrick James and Errol Spence Jr., that he wasn't happy with what was going on, that he wasn't part of the negotiations for the Shakur Stevenson fight. Now, I heard that he came out and he clarified that, and he pretty much called cap on that. I think he discussed that with Blue Blood Sports TV. He said none of that was true. Now, I'm still calling him a duck because he didn't really give a valid explanation to why he pulled out of the fight. So from what I gather, it was because he wanted more money for this fight. Shakur Stevenson said he wanted 50-50. And I think he was offered 25% of the purse split. And I'm going to play a clip from $1 Million Worth of Game, Shakur Stevenson talking about this situation. Now, my thing is this. I hear a lot of people saying that Frank pulling out of the fight, they're kind of comparing it with Shakur Stevenson not taking the Devin Haney fight. And I have to beg to differ with that. I think those are two entirely different situations. You have Shakur Stevenson, who's done some things in the sport. He was a unified champion in his last weight class. He carries a little bit of clout. He's got a name there, and him not fighting Devin Haney because he wanted more money. He think he could make more money down the line. I think somebody like him can get away with that, as opposed to Frank Martin. Frank Martin never fought for a title. He doesn't really have that pull yet. And this was his one opportunity, his first opportunity to capture a title at 135. He was getting the biggest payday of his career, which was rumored to be $1 million. And I think that the situation is entirely different. And I think the fact that he wanted more money because it was a risky fight leads me to believe that he wasn't sure or not that he could beat Shakur Stevenson. Now, in my humble opinion, I don't think he could beat Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur Stevenson is the better fighter, hands down. But it doesn't really matter what I think. It matters what Frank Martin thinks, because he was the one that was going to get in the ring. And that's the impression that I get when Frank Martin's talking about, Frank Martin pulling out of the fight, that he doesn't think that he could beat Shakur Stevenson. He's not going to say that, but everything is pointing in that direction. So with that being said, Frank Martin's still a duck in my book. And Shakur Stevenson is the new Jason Voorhees at 135, because I don't want to just single out Frank Martin. Vasily Lomachenko didn't want the smoke. George Kambosos Jr. didn't want the smoke. And Isaac Pitbull Cruz did not want the smoke with Shakur Stevenson. So that makes him the new boogeyman, the new Jason Voorhees of the 135-pound division, because Nobody's trying to see him. Even with a title on the line, those guys did not want to face him at all. Now, I'll say this, Isaac Pitbull Cruz didn't have a title. There was no title on the line when he was looking for the fight. Well, when Shakur was looking to face him, there was no title there on the line. Now that Devin Haney is moving up to 140, the WBC title is on the line. So with Lomachenko turned him down, George Kambosos Jr. turning him down, now Frank Martin pulling out of the fight, all three of those guys, they're ducks when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. So I have to say he is the new boogeyman of 135 pounds. Now, I want to play this clip from $1 Million Worth of Game with Shakur Stevenson being asked about the Frank Martin situation. I want you guys to hear what he had to say here. So let me play this real quick for you guys.
What happened with Frank Martin?
He pussy, he's a bitch. He's a bitch. That nigga's a straight bitch. I never seen nobody more bitch made than Frank Martin. Frank Martin is the most bitchest nigga in the world. Like, I done DM'd this. Mind you, I would never had that thought if I didn't have a DM conversation with the nigga. I talked to this nigga on the DMs. I explained this man, look, this is how much money the fight is. Me and you're not that big of a name, bro. You can bring nothing to the table. I'm the name. So this how much the fight is worth. This man sat there in the DMs after I told him, look, I'm getting this much, you get this much. He tried to act like it wasn't 25%, but it is. He wanted 50-50. 50-50 or he's not fighting me. And it don't make sense. That don't make sense to me. Like, why would I fight Frank Martin? He never won a title. He never been in a he never done nothing in the sport of boxing.
No, I like Frank Martin as a fighter.
He's a bitch.
I don't think he.
So there you have it, guys. Shakur Stevenson explaining what happened behind the scenes with him and Frank the Ghost Martin. He said he offered him 25%. He said Frank Martin wanted 50%, but, you know, Shakur Stevenson is the name. He's exactly right on this situation. He is the bigger name. He's been a champion before. He's been a unified champion. And Frank hasn't even held a title before. You know, this would be his biggest payday, like I said. And he pulled out of the fight. So, you know, you got to call it a duck. You know, you have to call it a duck. As much as I like Frank Martin, as much as I think he has the potential to be a great fighter, a duck is a duck. And it doesn't matter who you are. I'm going to call it out. When I saw Canelo Alvarez duck in the smoke with Dimitri Bivol, I said it was a duck move. Even though I like Canelo Alvarez, I think he's a phenomenal athlete. So you got to hold these fighters accountable. So we're going to see what happens next with this, whether or not Frank Martin comes out and responds to this. But it's telling. It's telling because, you know, it took him a while to come out and say anything about it. You haven't heard Derek James or Errol say anything about it. So I don't know, guys. You let me know what you think about this. Is Frank Martin a duck? Is Shakur Stevenson the new boogeyman at 135 pounds? You guys let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.